Welcome to our cozy couch conversations for August. Our theme of the month is
joys of water.
water. Water everywhere.
Yes.
And sometimes a drop to drink.
Just
Cheers
cheers.
to the joys of water.
So it's summer, and there's never a season to help us become a little bit more aware about water, in particular when it comes to hydration.
Hydration. And summer is the time where you want to be making sure you're hydrated because the season is working against us.
I know, it's not on our side during this time of year.
No, the sun, the heat cause evaporation. And evaporation can be good.
Yeah.
It cools you down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not just in terms of our skin, there are other places in our body where we're just on a daily basis losing water. In our digestive system, saliva in our mouth, things like that. So if
we're crying awful lot.
Oh, that too. So water lost means you need to replace.
You do need to replace continually. Without it, we'll die.
Yeah, absolutely.
So keep drinking water, but we tend to go for other drinks sometimes.
Sometimes we do. Yeah.
Yes. Alcohol, caffeine.
All the good things.
Yeah, the tea, the coffee, the beer, and the wine. Yeah, so these things are okay in moderation, though, as long as you're not on a restricted water intake.
Yeah, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But you definitely want to replenish with those hydrating substances. So water, juices, milks. Pick something you like, something that tastes good. If you're watching calories, maybe something with not too much sugar in it.
Yeah, I love, actually, I got a Soda Stream, little pump for Soda Stream. No, we're not getting any kickbacks, unfortunately. But I love the bubbly water. And just straight up, I don't add anything to it. Just the bubbly water for me on the rocks. It's just a lovely summer drink.
Lovely summer sipper, if you will.
Sipper, yes. And if you're looking to add a little flavor, squeeze a lemon. Cucumber.
Delicious.
Yes. Cucumber and water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so part of the reason why this becomes kind of important for us as we get a little bit older is, we do have a part of our brain, the pituitary gland, that talks to our kidney. And so as we're losing water, the brain will talk to the kidney and give these signals for thirst so that we can kind of take that water in. Unfortunately, though, this communication totally breaks down. Not totally, but it starts to break down a little bit as we get a little bit older.
It slows down. Everything slows down.
Yeah.
That slows down. And so if you're at the point where you're feeling thirsty, it means you probably already should have had some water.
Yeah.
So we want to avoid feeling thirsty. Unlike the hunger thing, thirsty, we want to keep on top of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So some tips might be to have some water bottles handy in some common places, like in your handbag or on your desk or, with you in the car.
Yeah, I even have a little, it's a kid's bottle, but it seals fully and I put it in my purse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, cute little one. Absolutely.
Yeah. So just keep a nice steady flow of water going. Your kidneys will love it. So our kidneys and our liver, but also our kidneys really help to flush out those toxins. And the kidneys can't work if we're not hydrated enough.
Okay.
And so how do we check if our kidneys are hydrated enough?
Well, one tip, we've kind of shied away from this idea of needing 8 glasses of water a day.
Water quota.
And we're kind of looking at getting a little more curious about the color of our pee.
Yeah.
So one way to know whether you're well hydrated is to look at the color of your pee, and we want a nice diluted yellow color. Nothing too concentrated, bright, or intense.
No, it should be pale. If your pee looks like water, you're there.
Yes, absolutely.
It could have a little tinge of yellow to it. It's perfect. But if it's looking vibrant or orangey, that is not a good sign. You do not want to hit that level. So drink more water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And other than hydration, getting some good fluid intake in will help with your skin.
Helps us stay younger. You know, it even kind of fills out the wrinkles, actually.
Love that.
Yeah.
Helps with our muscles.
Yep.
Yeah. So it keeps our muscles nice and hydrated so we don't get muscle fatigue quicker.
Yeah, that's right. Our whole body benefits from enough water. And if we're fighting off a cold, you can flush out bacteria. You can avoid getting urinary tract infections, actually, by peeing frequently.
Yeah.
So as fun as that is, peeing frequently is a great thing to do.
We are very much fans of hydration here at Poplar. Now, we know there are some of you out there that may be living with what we call a comorbid disease called congestive heart failure. And if you're living with that, we know, and your doctors have probably talked to you about being aware of how much fluid you're actually putting in your body. You might be on a fluid restriction.
Yeah. So if you have too much fluid in your body, it doesn't always stay in the blood vessels. It can start leaking out into other places, like the lungs. And so people with congestive heart failure do experience shortness of breath from time to time. And sometimes it's because there's water getting into the lungs. And usually the first place it goes is to the ankles. Yeah, so if you notice your ankles starting to get puffy, we want to reduce that a little bit. So elevating the feet can help, and watching how much water your intake is. So consult your physician or your nurse practitioner to figure out if that's the case for you.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that sometimes our breathing symptoms, we're very focused on the lungs, but there could be that other culprit too. And so absolutely. And if you are on a fluid restriction, the recommendation, so take your weight daily, kind of monitor how much fluid you're putting in your body and potentially how much fluid is coming out. Like Tina said, talk to your doctor if you've got any questions.
Yeah, we might put you on some water pills that make you pee a little bit more so that you don't retain so much fluid. And reducing intake. In that case, might be required. But that is the exception, not the rule.
That's true. Yeah.
And so other things we like about water. Let's move on to some water fun stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's summertime. I know for my daughter, she's been splashing around in any pool that she could jump into. And so that's the other fun thing about water is exercise in water.
Yes, you can move and groove in water. Aquafit.
Oh, I love it.
Get those pool noodles out.
Yeah, absolutely. Those water weights, I love those.
Paddles and
So when we think of exercise, we might think of land-based exercises kind of intuitively, but there's a lot we can do on the water for both strength and cardio.
Yep, and research shows that the benefits of doing sort of an aquafit fitness program compared to doing an on-land fitness program can be equally as effective. So when they're measuring their outcomes, both of them work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're inclined to go in the water, do so, especially if you find maybe you've got issues with your knees, with weight-bearing exercises. Being in the water can ease that burden for you, and then it still provides resistance. So you're still using your muscles to move your body in the water.
So you're getting the strength and the cardio, which is always what we're looking for in a good exercise plan.
Absolutely. And I know they always get good music in those aquafit classes. So if you're inclined, give it a go.
And then you were mentioning some on the water things like paddling, whatever you like to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of paddle boards are a nice gentle thing now. You can also sit on those if your balance is off, but it's great for your balance if you're doing stand-up paddle boarding, kayaking, or just swimming. Just go for a swim. Go for a walk with your feet in the water.
Awesome. So refreshing.
Water on the toes.
But also that reminder to keep hydrated, because it's kind of when you're in the water, you don't actually realize how much you might be dehydrating yourself.
It's true.
Yeah. So keep hydrated. We'll go back to that first point.
Yeah, because it keeps you cool in the water. You don't realize.
Yeah.
Totally how that happens.
But we know for some of you there may be some limitations or some triggers that you might experience. I'm kind of thinking, in a community center pool with things like chlorine and things like that. So, check it out, see how you do, maintain your maintenance medication treatment plan, have your quick relief puffer handy if that's what you need, and talk to the community center about how they do their cleaning and what kind of products they use, because that can kind of help with some trending and patterning.
Yep. Yep, and maybe a community center pool isn't accessible for everybody. Think about your outdoor spaces. Exercising in water is great, but just being around water, and now they're calling them blue spaces.
I love that.
Yes.
So relaxing.
Yeah.
So relaxing and calming. Yeah.
It's so great. So we've heard of green spaces. So cities are trying to make more green space with parklands and forests and encouraging people to spend more time outdoors by nature. Now there's blue spaces. Same thing, but with water.
Whether you're just looking at it or even just hearing it. Like, I love that those waterfall sounds, or like
The waves.
like a creek with water through rocks. I love that. I don't know exactly the science behind it, but I know it calms me right down.
It does. Yeah. And even, if you don't live somewhere near water, electronically you can indulge as well. So looking at waterscapes, listening to the sounds of the ocean or waterfalls or rivers, all of that can help with your mental health. And they do say, like, being around the blue spaces is just as good as being around the green spaces. It's good for socializing. It's good for calming down, reducing anxiety, helps with depression. Yeah.
Amazing.
Being outside, especially with other people.
Yeah. And so we know when we do some self-care and we take care of our mental health, we reduce our kind of stress triggers, that can really improve our breathing symptoms.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because stress triggers the breathing.
Yeah.
So water inside, outside, all around us. It's great. It's great.
So we encourage you this month to just be a little bit more aware of water and the joys of water.
Be water-aware.
Water-aware. Stay hydrated. Choose your hydrating beverage of choice and get out there and live your best life. Cheers.
To you and water.